The most dangerous gap in a consulting business starts after the client says yes, but before the kickoff. That is where payment gets delayed, files disappear inside email threads, access is still missing, and both sides arrive at the first call with different expectations. The problem is not that you need more software. The problem is that the handoff has no fixed sequence. In this video, I will show you a simple 6-step client onboarding workflow. It starts with a signed scope and ends with a kickoff that is actually ready to happen. No complex automation stack. No giant client portal. Just the minimum system a solo consultant needs. Before you build the workflow, define what onboarded means. It does not mean the client replied to your welcome email. It means 6 conditions are true. The scope is signed. The payment condition is met. The client knows what happens next. You have the information and access required to start. The workspace and internal plan exist. And the kickoff is booked with a clear agenda. That definition matters because every step now has an observable finish line. You are no longer relying on memory or vague email conversations. Step 1 is to lock the commercial agreement. Store the signed proposal or contract in one predictable place. Record the exact scope, the commercial start condition, the client decision maker, and who owns the project on your side. Do not start delivery from a vague looks good email. If the scope changes later, you need one source that shows what was actually approved. The useful rule is simple: one signed document, one project owner, and one clear condition that allows onboarding to move forward. Step 2 is the payment gate. For many consulting engagements, onboarding should not move into production until the agreed deposit or first invoice condition is met. This is not about being difficult. It prevents a hidden failure mode. You start preparing the project, the client assumes the work has started, and the payment is still floating somewhere in accounts payable. Your workflow needs a binary status: payment condition met, or waiting for payment. If your agreement uses different terms, keep the same principle and record the actual commercial trigger. Step 3 is the welcome message. This email should not be a celebration followed by 5 attachments. It has 3 jobs. First, confirm the engagement and the main outcome. Second, explain the next steps in order. Third, tell the client exactly what you need from them and by when. Link to the intake form, the upload or workspace location, and the booking step from one message. If the client has to search through several emails to find the next action, the process is already broken. Step 4 is the intake form. Only collect information that changes the first phase of the project. That usually includes the desired outcome, current situation, key stakeholders, deadlines, constraints, required access, existing assets, and known risks. Avoid the 50-question questionnaire. A long intake form feels thorough, but it often creates delay and low-quality answers. Ask a sharper question instead: what must I know or receive before I can run a useful kickoff and start the first deliverable? Everything else can wait. Step 5 is to prepare the workspace before the kickoff. Create the project page or folder, store the signed scope, attach the intake answers, organize the client assets, and create the first internal tasks. Then turn the intake into a short kickoff brief: the objective, the known constraints, the decisions still open, and the first milestone. Do not invite the client into an empty portal just because the software can send an invitation. The workspace should already explain where things live and what happens next. Step 6 is the kickoff gate. Book the kickoff when the required conditions are met, not immediately after the proposal is signed. Send a short agenda in advance. Confirm the outcome, roles, communication rhythm, first milestone, required decisions, and immediate next actions. The kickoff should not be a live discovery session for information the client could have submitted earlier. It should turn the collected context into alignment and action. At the end of the call, both sides should know who owns the next task and when it is due. Once this workflow works manually, automate the repetitive transitions. A signed agreement can update the project status. A confirmed payment can trigger the welcome message. A completed intake form can create preparation tasks. A readiness check can unlock the kickoff booking link. But do not automate ambiguity. If your scope, payment rule, intake questions, or project ownership change every time, automation will only make the confusion move faster. Run the workflow manually for a few clients. Fix the handoffs. Then automate the stable parts. So the client onboarding workflow is not a welcome email and a calendar link. It is a controlled handoff from a signed promise to a project that is ready to begin. Lock the scope. Confirm the payment condition. Send one clear welcome message. Collect only kickoff-critical information. Prepare the workspace. Then book a kickoff with an agenda and named owners. If you want to install this without rebuilding the process from scratch, download the free client onboarding workflow checklist below. It gives you the 6 gates, the required inputs, and the pre-kickoff readiness check in one page. And if one handoff always breaks in your current process, leave it in the comments. That is usually the best place to improve the system first.